everybody. Welcome back to The Breach. This is the Frozen Titans run with Loon and Doc guesting.
Hi.
The 8th squad on the team. We do need Bethany Jones. We're going to bring her. We're going to reset her, though. Don't pick Last Traveler. I get to get rid of the grid defense, but we don't get to start with a reactor core. That's too nice. This team benefits from her in an insane way that we will talk about. Don't worry, we'll show it off at some point during the run. Mafan, same thing. These two, they have incredible, more synergy with this team than anything, including, I think, immunity to smoke on the smoke team. It's better than that. It's outrageous.
Ice team loves shields.
So we will be doing that, but we won't be doing it right away. We'll show it off in the run. We have the Ice Mech with the shield attack, the Spartan shield. I've been talking about this being a good weapon. Does 2 damage and flips the attacker's direction. That's usually enough to solve... most of the ranged enemies are back against the wall, and the melee enemies obviously will miss if they get flipped, so this almost always works as an attack stopper, even though it doesn't do a lot.
It's also a prime mech with 4 movement by default, so it's fast.
It's very easy to get the Vec to attack each other when you're flipping their attack around, especially the ranged. The Mirror Mech, the Janus Cannon, shoots 1 in both directions and shoves. That's going to be a very important thing to combine with the Ice Mech, the heart and soul of the team. Freeze an enemy. To freeze an enemy means they're pretty much done unless the enemy helps them and unfreezes them. They're out of the field forever. We freeze ourselves, though. We have to repair to undo that, so we can only freeze 1 enemy a turn. And then the next turn we lose a turn unless we took damage somehow. So that's where this Janus Cannon...
Like if you had some kind of robot that keeps shooting its friends in the face.
Yeah, so we would park this Janus Cannon behind and shoot the Ice Mech and something else, ideally. Or we'd block a spawn with it. The reason shields are great is because you don't get frozen if you have a shield. So as long as Bethany there doesn't take damage and she's on this mech, she just freezes an enemy every turn. So by herself, actually, she could almost win. Just freezing an enemy every turn. There's only 6. So achievements are 4 cryo launchers in 1 battle. That's supposed to be hard because you're frozen and you lose a turn every other turn. But as long as we unfreeze her, that's going to be free. This one will be the hard one. 3 enemies with 1 shot from the Janus Cannon. So we need... default, we need 2 1 HP enemies right next to each other. And we need to be able to kill the other target too. Honestly, 3 1 HP enemies is ideal because we need the shove to kill 1. Can you... if I blow up the dam with this, would that count? I don't think it would.
Yes, that counts.
Wow, that's an easy way to do it. I'm planning on getting the no upgrades achievement for the globals because I think this team is great for it, but combining it with this will be really hard. I need some early opportunities because I won't have any damage. Killing fewer than 3 enemies is all about just freezing everybody, so we just capitalize that freeze. That's what we're all about here. Let's do it. That's our team.
Ice Mech is maybe the strongest mech in the entire game.
It is amazing. I don't think I mentioned that it flies. It flies.
Yeah, it flies. On top of being really good.
We will not be using the Bethany scam until later on in the run, but we will use it a little bit. Armored status, for once, doesn't really scare me, but it's still kind of annoying. I don't know if I want to go here. Bomb status is actually the most lethal thing because a frozen bomber will never go away, and that's really annoying. We'd have to kill him with the Spartan shield, probably. I think that's the biggest threat. Let's just go to Ice Town.
Just go home.
Welcome to Pinnacle. Defend both robot factories. We can shield those with ice. If we need to. That's an option. I think it might also stop them from making enemy robots if I do that. I'm not sure. I think it will.
I have no idea.
Let's find out. I'm curious now.
Do some science.
So we have a flying mech. It doesn't have a lot of movement yet, but it will eventually get 4 at least. We need it to be around the Janus Cannon, ideally, or the enemies shooting it, or blocking spawn. Something where it takes 1 damage or whatever. Takes a hit. 1 hit, because it's only got 2 HP. Everything we do is based around what this cryo mech is up to. We have a grappler here who's going to annoy me. 4 movement should get us down there. We should be good.
The Ice team is about high-value weapons that are a puzzle to use.
It's a really good time to mention that I'm going after all of the nasty achievements that we don't have yet. No weapon upgrades. No switching to new weapons or pilots. No mech damage for one entire island. And last, worst of all, we have to destroy that time pod and every other time pod that we see. We wouldn't be using the pilots or weapons anyway, because I want the other one. Frozen Titans is perfect for this.
This is already kind of a rough turn.
Only those two were the other way around.
It
Yeah.
would be nice.
It's not that bad because you can just... You can solve it relatively easily, but...
We're in good shape, so I can just kill this enemy. I'm worried about breaking the time pod is why I'm even hesitating. All we do is smack this guy, kill him, shoot this guy and kill him, and freeze this dude. And this guy will unfreeze us, so this move is obvious. We will lose our shield already, though. That's not a big deal, but... Because it's on this mech, it's kind of just free HP. It's whatever.
In a lot of ways, freezing an enemy is just better than killing them.
Yeah, he's out.
They're out of the fight, they're taking up a unit slot,
Yeah.
and they're obstructing a tile.
A frozen enemy still counts as being alive, so it won't spawn more ones.
I have to decide... Yeah, this thing is spawning enemies, though, unfortunately. I have to decide how I'm going to handle it. That time pod is just really in a bad place. I'm hesitant to freeze because I won't be able to unfreeze unless I can hit my friend, and that's not really happening here.
You could freeze the building and then fire both ways.
I see a good move.
Okay.
If I freeze this guy, I'll get my guy back. I can come here and kill both these idiots. And then we'll just unfreeze them with my smack.
Yeah. Quite solid.
Now that's 2 robots coming up. They can't spawn more Vec than that. That's pretty much capped. The robots I do think will continue to spawn though. I'm not sure. Yeah, they sure do.
Oh yeah, and the third thing, the enemy AI will try to unfreeze units, so a frozen enemy is taking up actions when bugs try to rush in and rescue it.
That is one of the 2 ways we can destroy pods. The other way is with the shield bash, so that's good. Now we have, I could come over here and smack this guy, but the correct move is to freeze him again and do the same thing, just hit my guy. I'm failing to find out if robots are stopped by the freeze. I'm pretty sure they are, though.
Yeah, we can't do it now, but... So the thing to note, we're not getting a perfect island, not even once on this on this run.
That's just the way it's gonna be when you're doing this challenge.
Yeah.
But that's okay, because I'm going for the other challenges too, which are no new pilots equipped, no new guns upgraded, nothing. We're going in on nothing. So they screwed up pretty bad here, actually. They're not attacking anything with the robot, and they need him. Because these 2 are out. That simple move. We can come down here and flip this guy. Or, you know what, it would make more sense to just kill this guy and freeze the other one and get a little bit of XP. We don't die. Oh, we got that one already. The one I said was free. It sure is. We got that. And we don't die as a flyer over water because we're a mech. We just float. So that's good information too. We will die if we do it over a pit though. So that's something. We gotta watch out for that.
And that's another achievement? I think you only killed 3?
I killed a bunch
I guess
of
I must have
robots.
killed 4. Yeah, alright, fair enough.
Block Vex spawns 3 times. Break ice! Break ice! Oh, jeez. I wonder if that's retroactive. More education? You wanna fail this mission?
It's gotta be buildings out of the ice.
I'm curious.
I don't think it's retroactive. It counts the buildings, I think, as they are broken out.
If I froze a building, I don't know if the counter would go back up.
I think it would, is the thing, because counters do go back up with, like, mech HP and stuff.
Yeah. We should be able to block spawns constantly, easily, with the freeze mech. It's really good at it. It has range to freeze anything in a line, and then it can stand on the spawn and not take damage. It's especially good at it.
And the Vec spawning breaks the ice, so it even gets to act again next turn.
Yeah, that's ideal, actually. So hopefully the Vec will just go after the buildings for us, and we can focus on blocking those spawns for a couple turns.
A map like this, especially in the early game, might give you your chance for the trick shot.
If they didn't have the extra HP... I can't quite reach.
For what it's worth, the Janus Cannon is really good at this particular requirement as well.
Doesn't matter what we freeze, we can't double freeze. That's 2 block spawns already. And 1 ice. 2 ice. And that's all the spawns we need to block. I am mildly curious. I probably will be able to check on building 6 if that counter goes back down. I'm sure it will. I'll just let them continue to bust stuff for us, and we'll keep this enemy list small. That's a bit obnoxious.
It's an easy flip, though.
Yeah, we have no choice about that, I don't think. We can stand here and take care of business. I think I'm gonna freeze that guy. That guarantees a victory.
And given there's only 2 enemies you have to deal with now, too, one of which is not even yeah, actually, both of which aren't doing anything, you can check. Because that one's going to break open that last one, so it'll be just fine.
It does.
And it totally does.
Alright. You can hurt yourself with your skill. That's what I figured.
Yeah, believe it or not, this team is not bad at breaking the stuff out of the ice at all, because the cannon and the flipping are both really, really good at it.
Hey! A mission designed
Hell
for
yeah.
me. Ice Team. Can we freeze and defend both robots with 2 freezes?
I don't know. This could get dicey.
With an artillery freeze, too.
This is like the first time ever that we were allowed to just freeze them both on turn 1. They're usually really annoying between the line and the high damage one. This guy's gonna jump in, and it doesn't really matter which one of those 2 he grabs, I don't think. Because we're freezing the other 2.
Easy, too. Like, not a single problem at all.
I would say the only problem is that we can't block the spawns, which is no big deal at all. And we can't unfreeze our guy, really, not really. Not unless I could do that, I guess. I would just break my shield that I have. That'll work, actually. That'll kill that enemy. One of the things that you need to be careful with here is actually making sure that you unfreeze your guy. That's a big deal. If that mech is not unfrozen through damage and you have to waste a turn, you're in a lot of trouble. It's gonna backfire real fast.
Absolutely.
So we need to focus on that.
Only having access to 2 mechs is always a ridiculous action economy downside. It is a tremendous amount of problems with that.
I want to switch these 2. Dang. I can just block this spawn. I'm not going to kill that one. We'll freeze you and unfreeze my friend. That's the move. It's more important than killing the enemy. It really is. Because who knows what's coming out of the ground, and we'll have to deal with it. If we can just freeze it, it's done. It's dealt with. I probably should kill enemies over freezing them just for XP. We're going to get a lot of not XP missions on this team. That's a turn. And that's done.
Easy.
It's just an army of frozen enemies. That's the way it goes.
Out of all the pre-generated teams, I think it's generally agreed, and I would extremely agree with it, that Frozen Titans is the strongest one by default. They claim that it's one of the harder ones to use, and I guess if you just don't realize that you have to unfreeze your Ice Mech, yourself, I can see that. But really, it's not that tough.
Yeah, there's a reason why I'm trying to do time pod destruction achievements and no weapon upgrades. We really don't need anything. Especially with Bethany.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm not even using yet. I'm not even going the full mile on how unfair this team can be. Basically, with her, we don't need to worry about unfreezing my mech. It takes care of itself. So, that's just a consideration. Our primary consideration is gone. What are these guys up to here?
I guess that's unfreezing the Scion. And
yeah, they don't have many options because they don't have many places to go here.
Yeah, I guess these mines are actually placed super helpfully.
I'm trying to find a good use of this guy.
Ice Mech here.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to freeze much this turn. I want to shove this enemy down to block the spawn. We can shove this one down to block the spawn too.
I guess you can ice in that you can shove it down to block that spawn, move down, and then refreeze it.
I think I'm going to do this, yeah.
Yeah, refreeze it, and then you're blocking both.
We'll just fly over here. I don't want to freeze it because I don't want it to not take damage. I can't reach any building except that one. We are shielding that building, though, by doing that. So that's a fine thing to do anyway. They didn't gain anything. They lost 2 HP. So that's okay for us. It's the same as the first turn, but better.
Yeah, in a way, it's like with every other team, if you manage to not kill things in a turn, it always kind of sucks because it means that there's more things to fight next turn. For Frozen Titans, it's not that big of a deal. In fact, in some ways, it's actually preferable. Because that means there's more things to just be left around freezing, and that means that there's less things that can spawn.
I think we're going to go ahead and do a very similar move here. Because there's no reason to freeze that guy. When we can just block spawn.
You'll have a lot of turns where you aren't killing, but freezing is stronger than killing.
Yeah.
They won't be getting any new spawn. Oh, I see. I needed to move up first because we do shove when we shoot. I need to stand here, freeze myself.
But you also will be... You don't want to unfreeze with...
Just
yeah.
freeze the
This.
leaper.
You also didn't want to actually unfreeze it because you'd be taking damage, and thus ruining one of your achievements that you're going for.
We didn't get that on this island already, so I can't do that yet, the no damage one.
Alright, fair enough.
I gotta pick one of the 3 islands to try and do that. That's gonna be... I might have to do that on another team. That's 4 big achievements at once. I'm thinking we can get the hardest ones, in my opinion, and that's not really the no damage one. And this last guy is just iced.
Like, in a sideways way, you killed plenty of enemies there, but there's still those 2 on the map that we're taken care of. There's nothing that they can do.
The boss dying is a little tricky with this team sometimes. We do a reasonable amount of damage directly, and it just has to be focused on the boss.
Mm-hmm. You have 3 per turn. Which can be done. It does have... What is that? 8?
Man! That's a strong leader.
Yeah, because that Scion over there.
They don't have any grapple aside from the boss, and if he grapples him, that would actually be a little troubling because of where he'd have to be for that. My shield slam will not move this guy, so he's actually troublesome because he's got that quad web. He'll just do the same thing he always does. He'll just hit us. I need to shove him with the tank.
Now, for what it's worth, you don't actually super need to. You've already failed Perfect Island because of the time pod, but you still want the stars if you can help it.
It's reputation.
Yeah.
Ah, he's too far away.
Oh, that is actually one of the worst places he could go.
I'm going to have to freeze him.
Yeah.
If I want that, and it's going to be hard to even do that because I can't hit my friend.
It is also really hard to deal with that Hornet, actually.
Yeah, they've hoisted me. I thought I made a move, but I did not. Well, we can freeze the boss, but we cannot shield slam him. We actually can. It's just stupid as hell, but I can shove my guy over and shield slam him with this. Lose the shield, freeze him. We'll be in a bad place next turn, though. We'll be frozen down here, so we won't have a mech for the first time all game. We'll be... I mean, I feel like I should do this. It's just one grid, though.
It's one grid versus what...
The boss will be frozen. So that's a bonus. But we give up killing the boss once I do this. It's done. This is not happening.
Well, you already had to give up the Perfect Island, so...
Yeah.
That's not much of a loss. That's 1 star.
We can protect the tower.
It's 1 star that you would then probably put into grid defense anyway because of the nature of the achievements you're getting. You know?
Well, these 2 are dead. I'm going to take a grid hit, though. Unavoidably. We have to unfreeze the regular way. Mm-hmm. And that right there is what happens pretty much every time that you fail to unfreeze this mech. It's almost guaranteed to just mess you up. We're in good shape. We can freeze this guy. Yeah, so we do 3 damage direct. We didn't do any to the boss. There's 8 health still. 7, I guess, because it lost 1 from the Scion.
You could even just leave that one as is and then freeze the... Yeah. A lot of options there.
I probably could have... I probably could have gotten the no kills one there. The 3 kills. We'll get that at some point, I'm sure.
Okay.
We don't have any use for anything here except for... We do use cores. We are allowed to use cores for movement and health, not for guns. So the Janus Cannon's big thing won't happen. But no new pilots, no weapons. We are allowed to swap pilots around. We're just not allowed to buy new weapons. And this one we're not allowed to power them up. So we're missing out on that damage. But we can buy cores for movement. I think we should. Get 4 movement on everybody.
Mm-hmm. And it will be useful in the final fight because, you know, you don't actually need to do the final mission. You just have to do the islands without doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll get this lit up on the next island to try. That's the untouchable one. I was just making sure that we're not X'd out. We are not. That was Island 1. About as well as I expected to go. This team is extremely good all game long, so they don't have really a rough start or ending.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time on Island 2.